Hey class, today we're still talking about ancient Mesopotamia, and we're talking about writing. Their ancient writing, and is one of the most important advances in their history. Uh, Also, without them starting writing, when would it have started? Would it have started at a different period? Who would have started it then? But they started writing. The Sumerians started writing. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the ancient Mesopotamian writing. The Sumerians, like I said, were the first to develop the form of writing. All right, and needed a way to keep track of businesses, or keep track of transactions, ownership, government records. Okay, so they came up with a system of writing. This picture right here is a system of writing that they came up with. It looks like a bunch of different squiggly lines and shapes and stuff to me, but to them it meant something. They had like 700 different symbols. So around 3300 BC, they began to use these picture symbols, and they marked them in clay tablets to keep their record. They were clay, and then when they hardened, they had a record. Here we go.
Who was first? The Sumerians developed the first form of writing. As Sumerian towns grew into cities, the people needed a way to keep track of business transactions, ownership rights, and government records. Around 3300 BC, the Sumerians began to use picture symbols marked into clay tablets to keep their records.
So writing was inscribed on the clay tablets, and the scribes would take a stylus or a stick that was made from reed. All right, I should have got a picture of that, but I don't have a picture of that on there. And they would press these lines into the tablet. All right, just different way. They'd press them into these symbols into soft, moist clay. And once these clay would harden, they had a permanent record. So this is some more of their writing. The cuneiform is what it called. All right, right here, this is what it called. This is the alphabet for that.
Clay tablets. Writing was inscribed on clay tablets. Scribes would take a stylus, a stick made from a reed, and press the lines and symbols into the soft, moist clay. Once they were done, they would let the clay harden, and they had a permanent record.
So the initial writing of the Sumerians, it utilized picture symbols or pictograms. All right, and a drawing of a person's head meant the word head. But as time went along, they developed more and more complex symbols and complex writing. They included sounds and meanings, and they'd make wedge-shaped marks in the clay. Then, like I said a minute ago, and this type of writing is called cuneiform writing, which means wedge-shaped.
Cuneiform writing of the Sumerians utilized simple pictures or pictograms. For example, a drawing of a person's head meant the word head. Over time, however, the writing of the Sumerians further developed into include sounds and meanings. Scribes would use the stylus to make wedge-shaped marks in the clay. This type of writing is called cuneiform writing, which means wedge-shaped.
Sorry, I mispronounced that. Right here, right now, but I'll pronounce it right on the reading. Cuneiform is the name of it. Cuneiform. All right, so translating, like I said, they had like 700 different symbols. And these symbols, meaning shape, they could change between what regions and what cities they were in. So a lot of times it's hard to translate all of this stuff because of that. But many of the tablets they found have been deciphered. They've been translated. And this is how we know so much about the Mesopotamian culture, about their government, about their history. But like they had 700 different symbols. There's more symbols that are over here, the pictures here.
Translating Mesopotamian writing is difficult for archaeologists today. This is because there were over 700 different symbols, and the symbols, meanings, and shapes could change between different cities and regions. The symbols often changed over time as well. However, many Sumerian tablets have been deciphered. This is how we know so much about Mesopotamian culture, government, and history.
All right. Most tablets have been discovered. They were government and they were financial records, but some of these writings were literature. All right, and if you look right here, this is a piece of literature. All right, I mean the literature includes mythology of the Mesopotamian gods, tales of their heroes, poetry, songs. But the most famous one is the Epic of Gilgamesh. All right, and I'm pronouncing it right here, but I don't pronounce it right on I would say Gilgamesh half the time, but it's Gilgamesh. All right, and he's one of the most famous epic of the Mesopotamian literature, and it's all right here on this tablet.
Literature. While most of the tablets discovered have been government and financial records, some of the writings are literature. This literature includes mythology of the Mesopotamian gods, tales of their heroes, poetry, and songs. Some of the writings include sayings of wisdom. The most famous and epic of all the Mesopotamian literature is the story of Gilgamesh.
I said it wrong right there. Gilgamesh is what it's called. All right. Who developed the first form of writing? A, the Sumerians, B, Europeans, or C, Americans? A, the Sumerians developed the first form of writing.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
All right. Number 2, what was the wedge-shaped writing called? All right. I pronounced it wrong while I was talking a while ago, but I pronounced it right on the reading. So was it called A, dictation, B, cuneiform, or C, nothing? It's called cuneiform.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Number 3, how many different symbols did the Mesopotamians use for writing? A, 100, B, 200, or C, 700? It is C, 700. They had 700 different
ding, ding, ding.
Different symbols, and all these different symbols could change between regions and cities. So it's hard to translate. Number 4, what was the most famous epic of the Mesopotamian literature? A, the story of Gilgamesh, B, the Odyssey, or C, Outlander? It's A, the story of Gilgamesh, and I've misspelled that. I need to go back and change that.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
All right, class. That is all today. The story of Gilgamesh is the most famous Mesopotamian literature, and we're actually going to talk about him next with our next reading. So later on this week. So y'all get prepared for that. It's actually a really good story. And don't forget to go and look at your other videos in Schoolology, the other links to the YouTube pages after doing this, and after we're going over your actual Google Slides with this in it. And be sure to go check out the songs and a little bit about writing. All right. Y'all all have a very good day.